Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles. Again, the People's Show, checking the pulse of Husker Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very happy Husker Nation. I don't think I've ever recorded two gut reactions, not only in one day, but in the span of about 3 hours. All right, if you missed my gut reaction to Nebraska beating Northwestern football, go back and check that out from earlier. But I'm here to talk about Nebraska volleyball. Number 1, Wisconsin comes into Lincoln, plays number 2, Nebraska. Great volleyball match. Up and down, back and forth, competitive. These are the two best teams in the country. Of course, I think we know who might be number 1 after Nebraska beats Wisconsin. Again, phenomenal match, 3-2. We're going to talk about it, dive into it, have some fun here. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen John Cook smile that much or look that happy. He's always so calm, confident, and steady. But even Coach Cook, listen to some of this. After beating the number 1 team in the country, the first time the Huskers have done it since 2017, breaking a 10-game losing streak versus Wisconsin, getting that win tonight. Okay, even Coach Cook couldn't help but crack a few smiles, and well-deserved, I might add. All right, the Huskers, number 2 team in the country, down the number 1 team in the country, Wisconsin, to move to 19-0. Now this is only the 5th time, okay, since 2000, okay, that a number 1 versus number 2 ranked match has gone 5 sets. Now, if you're as proud of this Nebraska volleyball team as I am, then smash that like button. Now, these are 2 of the most storied programs in the entire country, okay? Just by comparison, since 2011, basically since Nebraska joined the Big Ten, amount of NCAA titles, Wisconsin has 1, Nebraska has 2, amount of Final Four appearances, Wisconsin has 3, Nebraska has 5, amount of Big Ten championships, Wisconsin has 5, Nebraska has 3, Big Ten Coach of the Year award winners, each program has 2. Now, right off the bat, okay, Nebraska won that first set, okay? And 25-22, they jumped out early and jumped on the Badgers quick. Okay, now this was the first set that Wisconsin volleyball has lost all year to a Big Ten opponent. They hadn't lost a single set all year to a Big Ten opponent, okay, after that first set. And they had won 30 consecutive sets. So that was their first loss in 30 consecutive sets after winning those sets. Okay, now let's look at some of the stats real quick from that first set. Number 2, Nebraska rides an early 6-0 run to win the first set, 25-22. Okay, Jackson and Riley with the block at the end to win it. The Huskers hit 214 with 4 kills from Beeson, Battenhorst, and Murray. Wisconsin hits 125 in the set with 3 kills from Robinson, Franklin, and Booth. Now, it was kind of cool because the student section was wearing cowboy hats and overalls in honor of John Cook. And if you didn't know this, he's a cowboy himself. He even lives in Wyoming part of the time. He does a little calf roping. He's big into horses and their loyalty and things of that nature. So the student section was kind of raucous, a lot raucous, but kind of supporting John Cook in that way. Of course, Wisconsin bounces back, and they're not going to roll over. They win set 2, 25-17. Now, some of the stats from the next 2 sets. All right, number 1, Wisconsin answers back. Okay, and the Badgers record 12 blocks in the set, forcing 16 NU hitting errors. The Huskers hit minus .077 in the set on 52 attacks. Wisconsin with just 7 kills on 29 swings at a 138 clip. Okay, now a couple of other things real quick I want to chat about. There was an attendance record set at the Devaney Center tonight. They'd never had more than 9,000 people attend an event there. Okay, and they added 400 seats over this past off season. So they'd never had more than 9,000 people there. They had 9,198 people in attendance tonight, which was a record. Okay, now keep in mind, Nebraska Volleyball, if you didn't already know, this is the only Power 5 women's sports program that actually made money a year ago. My point, there truly is no place like Nebraska. All right, Wisconsin won the 3rd set, 25-20, to go up 2-1. All right, now reminder, Nebraska's a young team. I've talked about this before. They don't have a single senior on this team. They got a lot of young players on this team. How are they gonna fight back? How are they gonna bounce back? Where are they gonna bounce back? How are they gonna respond? That was my question at this point. You're facing the mighty Wisconsin, a team that's had your number, the number 1 team in the country. Okay? So, and the other thing I couldn't help but notice, and I knew this coming in anyways, the height advantage that Wisconsin has is pretty large and basically impossible not to notice. Now, if you didn't know this, the Badgers are one of the best offensive teams in the country, statistically, The Black Shorts, okay? The Black Shorts. Nebraska is the #1 defensive team in the entire country coming into the match tonight as well. Another interesting stat, never before in the history of the Big Ten Conference have two teams prior to this year started 18-0. All right, real quick. As always, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to our sponsor, DPS Concrete. All right, check them out at dpsconstruction.net. Okay, if you're looking for work, if you're looking to have work done, there is nobody better to have do it for you or to go work for, especially if you're in the Omaha metro area. Go check out dpsconstruction.net. Now, Nebraska comes back. They bounce back. They win the fourth set by scoring the final 3 points of the set to win 26-24 to even it up at 2 sets apiece. All right. Now, the fifth set, man, it was back and forth. The crowd was raucous. It was awesome. Nebraska's up 14-13, and it looks like Wisconsin ties it up. John Cook, challenge. Now, the announcer immediately was like, maybe this is just to calm the team down, rather than using a timeout, something like that type deal. But in the replay, you could see that Cook was right. So here's the deal. They change it. Nebraska gets the point. The place erupts and Nebraska wins. Basically on that challenge, 15-13. All right, and they beat Wisconsin 3-2. They win the final 2 sets to win the match and go 19-0 by beating Wisconsin, the #1 team in the country. I'm pretty sure who the #1 team in the country is going to be next week. And Wisconsin should absolutely still be #2. And we're going to play them again this regular season, probably again in the Big Ten Championship, maybe again in the NCAA tournament. Who knows? But we're going to enjoy this right here, right now, tonight, because it's well earned. Okay, here's something that I noted as well. You watch the fans at the Husker football game today. You watch the fans in the Bob Devaney Center. You watch... Two records were set this year in attendance when it comes to Nebraska volleyball. The 92,003 Memorial Stadium early on in the season, setting the Bob Devaney record tonight. There truly are no better fans in the country than Husker fans, and our volleyball team is clearly, right now, the #1 team in America as well. Go Big Red. Now, here are some things that stood out to me about this volleyball team. They're highly resourceful, obviously very talented, phenomenal culture, okay? Ton of heart, resiliency. And when I interviewed Jordan Larson a week and a half ago, if you missed that, go check it out. She talked about a high standard, and they're just going to do what they do and they respect, but they don't worry about what the other team does, and that showed through tonight. Now, I got a couple of questions for you fine folks at home. #1, is this Nebraska volleyball's biggest regular season win ever? Let me know in the comments below. #2, all right, Nebraska volleyball set 2 attendance record, as I mentioned, okay, this year. Now, here's my question. When Iowa basketball tried to do something similar in their football stadium a week ago, and I think they had 55,000 people show up, not horrifically horrible, but serious question. Did you kind of chuckle when you saw the empty seats like I did? It didn't quite measure up to what Nebraska volleyball did. All due respect, but did you chuckle like I did? Also, last question. What stood out the most to me tonight was the heart of these ladies, okay? What stood out the most to you as you watch them play? Until next time, Husker Nation, go Big Red. And always remember to throw the ball.